Hello everyone, my name is Samuel Becker and this is my documentary on cars. The thing that you put gas in and it gets you from point A to point B. They come in different shapes, forms, different sizes, long, tall, short, small, old, new, fast and slow. Some people see them as a lifestyle and some people just really don't see the point in spending over what's needed. This is an engine. This is also an engine, and it can look very complicated with all the cables and wires. But in the end, they're very easy to maintain and to keep them running properly. One of the basic needs for an engine is oil. But why is there so many different types, so many letters, different colors, different brands? What's inside all of these boxes that are stacked up? What's the purpose of antifreeze coolant? And why are there so many different types? This one's conventional green, while this one is universal antifreeze coolant. Why is this one made for Asian vehicles while this one's made for GM vehicles? Let's just start with the basics. There's many different types of engines, but what do all these have in common? They are all combustion engines. This means that gas is poured at the top of the pistons and then ignited, which sends the pistons downward, which creates power. Now that we know a little bit more on how an engine gets power, let's talk about the letters and numbers. The V just stands for how the pistons are laid out. But what does the I stand for? When talking about engines, the I stands for inline, which means all the pistons are in a row. So now that we know what V and I stand for, now we can learn what the numbers stand for. The more pistons equals the more power. So the number equals the amount of pistons in an engine. So how does power get from the engine to the wheels? So if you guessed the transmission, then you're correct. The transmission is basically a box that has a bunch of little gears in it. If you change gears, then you change the gear ratio for different speeds, which in turn makes you go faster or slower. There's two basic types of transmissions. One is the manual, where the driver sets the gear ratio with a shifter and a clutch, and the other one is an automatic, where a computer does it all for you. Now that we got the mechanics out of the way, sit back and just watch the fun part. Still don't believe me? Then how about these other people? What is your favorite feature about your car?
Probably the star headliner.
The star headliner.
Probably the supercharger.
It's quick, it's fun, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I like the classic look of it, so.
What's your favorite memory about your car?
Probably taking it off-roading with the Jeep.
What is your biggest project you did on your car?
I put a T5 transmission out of a 1993 Fox Body Mustang.
So for like people that don't know cars, what does that mean?
Well, so it's just basically taking it had a 3-speed auto and putting it to a 5-speed manual. And as a general statement, like the more speeds, the faster the car will be. So.
Well, I just got it like, I don't know, 2 months ago. So all I've done was replace the supercharger pulley, so it can push more power. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing?
Probably the tune.
The tune. And then what would you say to a non-car person to convince them or get them into the hobby?
Just try it once. Start working with your friends on cars, and you'll eventually fall in love with it.
Well, I'd probably just say like start working on cars, and once you develop like a knack for fixing things and stuff like that, and you like to work on the mechanical aspect of it, that's what really gets you into it for me.
It's fun.
Like what I did to get into cars was like get myself attached to the car, like detailing all the other stuff, really get yourself attached to the car, and then go to car meets, stuff like that. Get yourself in the car community.
Because it gives you something to do instead of just sitting around watching TV or your phone or playing video games. It has purpose.
And yes, you still might just see a car as something you get in to take you long distances and long trips, but to other people, it's so much more. It's something that you put time and effort in, and yes, it can be expensive and tedious, but look, it just brings so many people together. Countless memories, journeys, friendships, relationships can all just be tied around one car, and you would never know it. And a car will last you a lifetime if you keep it well maintained, work on it when needed, and just take care of it by washing it and cleaning it. And if you're still worried about getting from point A to point B, then you'll completely forget about the journey in between.